Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aquarius. If Aquarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, knock, 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 and let's see. What do these tea leaves have to say today? Oh, goodness. All right, so our card for this reading is the Lust and Strength card. This is definitely a welcomed energy. And I myself just got done rowing. Because it is right now my chosen course of intentional movement. But two, because I've just been very emotional today. I woke up, I felt very weepy this morning. And, before I did my readings, I thought I better get on that thing and row because it will kind of pull me out of this foggy, emotional place that I'm in. Not that that's a bad thing, but I have to be able to do a reading, so that's where I am at right now. And I want to look at this. We have a 5 and an 8. Okay. Almost a 28. If that was a 2, that would be my number. 28 is my special number. Okay, and I want to look at this one. Okay, so I have a person sitting right here, and this reminds me very much of the Mother Goddess because we have the mountain, right? The head up here, the foot sitting and looking out over kind of the valley, the universe below. And we have a musical note right here. I did say 5-8, but we turn it a little bit. It's a musical note. So there's a sense of music in that valley. And I feel like there is a calm that has settled in your life. You've been strong lately. There's been a lot of strength, a lot of show of strength. And I think that spirit is heavily in the atmosphere this week. Okay, so there's almost a sense of being able to kind of just breathe deeply. Okay. And I think that there's a sense of great power in and of self. You've really been making some headway in that self-work, advocating for yourself, following your plan for yourself, not letting other people interfere or boundary stomp, right? You are really trusting your abilities, your instincts. Sometimes it's an unfortunate thing, but we make the best of our circumstances, right? Sometimes we have to be forged in fire. There have to be just brutally emotional circumstances that come up. Now, by no means am I a person that romanticizes suffering. Okay? I don't like to see people suffer. I am not particularly fond of suffering. But I do know, as someone who has gone through a lot of grief, abuse, poor circumstances and so on. Bad decision making on my own part as well. I will say that. I've suffered, and it has also allowed me to become who I am. And I feel like a pretty powerful mama. I don't feel, I'm not afraid of many things. I mean, I am kind of afraid of people on a very instinctual level because I have PTSD and I have anxiety issues. So it's not logical necessarily, but it is instinctual. And I am working with that. But ultimately, existentially, not afraid of very many things. And when I am kind of confronted, I go into that really, that place of, protection of self, of family, and so on. Not ultimately very afraid. Ambiently afraid. Nervous a bit. But, I see in you, forget about me, I see in you that you've been through some things, and it has been hard. Life has not always been easy for you, but you are strong. You are on the rise. Again, this is another rising event, okay? Will things always be perfect? No. Are they perfect right now? No. Okay? But you are very fortified. You are a fortified being. And through that, you are, you're quite a miracle, and you're quite magnificent. You are somebody who I feel like I would trust pretty much with most things, right? You are somebody who can really go slowly and be introspective, take it all in, survey the lands, okay? And then I see over here we have kind of a meeting of minds, it looks like. We have somebody here, we have another being here, and I almost feel like they're beside a fire. And I almost kind of have in my mind sitting, communing, talking about things, contemplating. And I feel that through all of this, through all of the things that have gone on in your life in the last, 10 years, a larger cycle of time, not just recently, but not forever, right? I feel that it's, I like to describe when we go through great loss, okay? Especially if it's something that you don't necessarily know is coming. Although it can be. I mean, it's not, there's no difference if you have tried to plan, because loss is loss. And it always feels much different than you think it's going to when it happens. But it is something like a tsunami, okay? It goes in, it takes everything. Maybe a couple things remain. And so when we go through this grief, when we go through these huge life shifts, and we all will, there's no escaping it. There's no escaping change. We go through these shifts, these things that just, you almost feel like you might drown in it all. All of that stuff that doesn't really mean anything. All of the tedium, all of the veneer, the things that we take on as responsibility, but it really has no service to our life or maybe anybody else's. I mean, there are things of vanity and just to fill the moments of our days. Friendships, especially, we see this. People who, You know, don't meet you with the same energy, involved in things that you wish you didn't have to do, but you do them. And, you know, and you continue on with that. But then something happens, right? And you can't help but see everything for what it is. There is no just making yourself do it anymore, because you've lost so much. You've seen what devastation can do to people, how they behave. You see who really shows up for you, who checks in with you, so on. And it's a terrible process, but it is maybe one of the more freeing things. And it's hard to look at it that way, I know. But beyond that first acute part of it, that awful grief and loss, and this can be divorce, this can be the loss of family, this can be, you know, the foreclosure of a home, loss of income, whatever it is. You know, these are fundamental things. They all are big losses. But when you get on the other side of that, you know, it doesn't go away. It always hurts. Especially if there is, you know, transition involved, death involved. But, you know, your life is left different landscape. And there is room to build. There's room to find the people who are your people. You know, I've lost a lot of people in my life. I'm in recovery. People die in recovery often. You know, I get along with people who have suffered. I get along with people who, you know, maybe aren't considered the proper people of society. And this is because, you know, I'm a Virgo, first of all, but I'm very, not just down to earth, I'm rolling in the mud, right? And I connect with people who have seen some stuff. I connect with people who have done some stuff. I connect with people who are honest about how much it hurts to be alive sometimes. You know, and I feel like a lot of people that come to this channel who come back and they stay, you understand these parts of life, and I'm sorry that you do. But, you know, there are ways for us to make something of it. When we lose a lot, it makes us very honest about things. It also makes us very kind, because we don't the opportunity to be kind anyways, because we don't want other people to hurt or suffer needlessly. There's so many people that suffer for reasons that they shouldn't be suffering for, over these things. Of course, it's all relative. There's no suffering Olympics or whatever. Nothing's more suffering than the other. But when you have suffered real devastation, deeply profound things, you look around, you want people to be happy. You want people to live their lives naively in that way, right? To some degree. And we try to protect each other. We try to uplift each other. And I feel like you have an opportunity to be with your people. You will find them. They will come to you. You are a beacon of light. You're not going to be soured by your circumstances. You will keep fighting the good fight, doing the good work. 2 butterflies. 1, 2. Double, double, double metamorphosis. You are a revelation. You are something to behold. You are beautiful. You are so smart, so magical. And I know some days that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what anybody has to say. But today, I hope you hear me. Because we need you, and we need you to help heal this world. And you can. I know you can. We have this beautiful being over here looking towards this metaphysical. Okay? And I really think, you know, I'm a big believer in the way that we really do help the collective is by working on ourselves. Okay? By doing the self-work. By healing. The big one, stopping generational abuses, behaviors, coping mechanisms. Radical love. Teaching. Listening. Being there for other people. Letting them know that they are not invisible. And that's what I'm talking about when I say people are suffering, then they shouldn't be. A lot of people out there are lonely. They just never have people. They never find people, and people don't find them. They go through life. Maybe they're surrounded by their coworkers, their family. Nobody ever listens to them. Nobody cares what they have to say. And maybe they don't have that much that's very interesting to anybody, but they are a person of value, right? And it's our job as humans to be there for one another, to receive one another where we can. And I could easily go on a huge rant. I can't stand how polarized everything is. I cannot stand the divisiveness. I cannot stand people demonizing one another based on beliefs that probably are very momentary and shifting. And even if they're disgusting beliefs, you know, you have to wonder what kind of pain are these people in? And to further stomp on them and demonize them and cast them out, and nobody there to let them know that they're, you know, you are my brother, you are my sister, you are my kin. It just makes it worse. It makes it so much worse, and it is heartbreaking. All right. So what are you going to tell me here? It seems like a little check mark. Or an L. We have an L maybe? Or a V. And, you know, ultimately, with the lust, with the strength, I just feel like there is such a sense of love, finding refuge in love. There is a Bob Dylan song, and I know I'm a huge Bob Dylan fan. I'm ridiculous. I haven't in some years, but I used to, from the time I was a child up until I was in, my early 30s, I went to see Bob Dylan every year. And sometimes multiple times a year. And anyways, he has a song called Shelter from the Storm. And that's like one of my anthems in life. I think about that song a lot when I'm feeling pretty weathered, pretty downtrodden, when I feel like I am just soaked in my own misery, in my own difficult circumstances. But there's always love, right? And if we don't have that with other people right now, we have it inside of ourselves. We do. We do. It's there. We have to turn inwards. And if you call that God or spirit or the divine or, you know, a construct created by card companies to sell greeting cards, okay, whatever it is, it can move mountains. But it's there and it's ready to be accessed. We just have to do the work. We're kind of grown up drunk on this idea of spontaneous love. Love at first sight. You will know love when it presents itself to you. Well, yeah, maybe. That does happen, right? But love is also work. And so is love of self. So is love emanating from self. So is love of the, you know, from the divine, that agape, filtering down through self. We have to do the work to get to it. Affirmation, gratitude, doing kindnesses, not only for other people, being of service, very important. Doing kindnesses for yourself, not things just like buying yourself stuff and, you know, getting your hair done or whatever. These are nice things, but kindness is really whatever that means to you. For me, getting enough sleep, making sure I move my body, drinking enough water, making sure I have some time to be alone for a few minutes a day, or I can just not think. We call it self-care, I guess. Maybe that's part of it. But it really is going out of your way for yourself. Taking care of yourself. All right. We're going to do the divine doors. All right. I like these cards so much. They are doorways, and I am here for doorways. Any kind of doors. I see them in my dreams. I like to look at them outside. One day I hope to have a home with a beautiful door. And so even if I really, you know, my aesthetic is like old, like Baba Yaga shack type of deal. So, some cool carved thing, maybe like from, scavenged or found wood. Okay, let's see. We're gonna stop where it feels right. Maybe right there. Ooh. This one keeps coming up. Change beckons. The path is shifting. The road leads a new way. Do not be alarmed as change beckons today. There you go. Spirit is knocking. Showing up and changing the furniture. All right, Aquarius, I want to say thank you and I love you. If you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm, and the algorithm kind of decides everything for everything. So we like to give it the engagement that it wants. And those are things like liking the video, watching the readings from the beginning to the end, sharing the readings on other social media platforms. I wanted to mention I have a one member tier. I think it's like $2.99. I added a perk to it, which is that you can join this Discord server. Discord is a platform that is like a chat room. So it's a chat room just for the members of this channel. And so it is my hope that we can get to know each other a little bit. Some of you will, maybe go over there and we can get to talking. Now, this is not a must, of course. You can also leave comments still, and I will still read them and still try to reply to all of them. The Discord is just kind of a deeper aspect of community. Other than that, if you have not subscribed, please do think about doing that and hitting the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And yeah, Aquarius. What is it? Monday. That's why I feel like this. I don't know. It's the beginning of a new month. I'm excited. I got to go get some pumpkins and things. I don't know. I just feel kind of bummed out for some reason. Maybe hormonal, who knows, but all right. Love you all. We will talk in a few days and maybe see you on Discord, who knows.